Hello, people of internet land. Stefan reporting straight from NAMM 2020 at our usual hiding place outside.
Yeah, adjacent. Adjacent.
With the ever magnificent Jamie Stillman.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing as good as it gets for a name.
This is actually as good as it gets.
It is actually as good as it gets.
The sound levels are amazing here.
Yeah, what's new at NAMM? Silence.
Silence, that's the new thing. No, but speaking of new at NAMM, you actually have some new stuff that I'm excited about.
Yes.
This time.
Uh-huh.
It's not just, switchers and drives.
What, are you telling me that last year was boring for you? Did I bore you last year?
The initial reaction was, oh no.
Yeah.
But then when I
know.
tried it, of course, this is awesome.
Thank you.
But this year, I'm hyped because you got an...
Afterneath module.
Yes! And an Afterneath V3 pedal.
And an Afterneath V3. And a small Sun Life pedal.
Yes, which is amazing as well.
Yeah.
But I remember when I visited you guys at the Earthquaker Day, it was 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
I asked you, what is the Earthquaker pedal, or one of the Earthquaker pedals that you're proudest of having made, or you're most happy with? And you actually said the Afterneath.
Uh-huh.
So why change a winning combination?
Why change a winning combination? It actually happened in the development of the module.
Uh-huh.
The module had this feature for the drag control where you could change the way it operates. So, it's kind of unquantized. It always was. It changes the pitch as you turn it because it's changing the whole system. And we had the engineer who worked on the module developed a way for it to do it in chromatic scale, major scale, minor scale, volt per octave. And it was so cool on the module. It's I wonder how this would be on the guitar, on the pedal version. It was awesome. It turned out to be really great. And it kind of knocked out adding expression control over drag, which is what a lot of people have been asking for since the day it came
even people started doing their own mods.
Yeah, doing mods for it.
But now you made it even cooler.
Yes.
And I had the pleasure of playing it inside, and it sounds unreal.
Thank you.
Especially, it has this mode that jumps between octaves and fifths.
Yeah, the octaves and fifths mode is... The octaves and fifths and just the straight octaves mode are my favorite. And I find them to be the most musical for guitar, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But also, you could do scale jumps as well. You have, what, major? And
major, minor, chromatic.
Chromatic as well.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And you can control it. You can control it with the synthesizer, volt per octave, and that's super awesome too.
The CV control, so you can actually make sequenced pitch jumps, right?
Mm-hmm. And match it, pitch to a synth, like what you're playing on a synth, it'll match there. And I don't know. It ends up. I feel like it turns it into a whole nother effect.
It does.
Cool.
It becomes more like a collaborative effect in a way.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a harmonizer or a pitch shifter, but there was nothing added to it. It's just the way that the drag control it changes the clock, so it changes the whole system. But even a hair movement changes the way that all the controls interact with each other. So being able to kind of quantize that and change it all in key it's pretty cool. It's hard to it's a thing that I feel like that's hard to explain, easier to hear. I feel like
it definitely is.
Yeah.
So that's why I also recorded some sound examples back at the booth, and it sounded great. And we're back.
That sounded so good.
That
You're
sounded
so good at demoing things. You're so good.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, you really are.
What else should I ask you, Mr. Stillman?
I don't know. Ask me about anything.
Yes.
Are you going to cut that part out, please?
Actually, I have a great stupid question.
Okay.
Because since we just entered a new decade,
Yes.
I would like to know from a pedal builder himself, what has been some of the most inspiring pedals to you the last decade? You know, something that popped out of the industry that really changed it for you, or just a pedal that inspired you,
Pedal that inspired me.
released in the last decade.
Released in the last decade. I gotta be honest with you, that's a tough question for me.
It is. It's a stupid question.
Yeah. I think a lot of the pedals that inspire me did not come out in the last decade. That's the big problem. But I think as a designer, maybe, and a player, I suppose, but like Stillman as a company, I feel like they changed the industry entirely when they came out.
That's true. Something definitely happened there with the big boxes.
It sort of changed the way that people thought about digital and like what it can do and like how it can still like. It always had this bad name, but you know how it can be musical. This is an old hat conversation, I feel like. But I would say the El Capistan for a modern delay really blew my mind when I first heard it. You know, I saw all the stuff on the internet and was like, yeah, bullshit. And I got that pedal and was like, oh wow, that's really cool. Yeah. It's a super cool pedal.
Yeah, it has this really amazing tape loop functionality. Like you could do sound on sound, like with old Echoplexes and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I think all that stuff is really cool.
But if we were to ask us the same question, but then with your own pedals, which one within the last 10 years are you most pleased with? Or a couple? You can name
a couple. I mean, you know, all of them. They're all great.
It's like choosing between
pedals
your children.
That we're the most pleased with. I mean, I say it all the time. Like Arpanoid is an idea that like I had, and then when it finally got executed, it was like it's fucking great. It's just how I imagined it. You know, that one's exciting. Afterneath for sure is one. But like the pedals that I most like, my most go-to pedals would be like Grand Orbiter, Speaker Cranker, but I think the biggest one would be Avalanche Run.
Avalanche Run.
And I could say it's like inspired by like modern delays, like the thing that was set in motion, I guess, by what I said earlier, Stillman, just how you can use modern digital technology to do really cool and creative things, but with like an old sound.
And that was also a product that took the digital things for your company to the next level.
Yeah, for us it took years to develop, and it was our first experience working with like a higher powered platform and developing that from the ground up, and like making our first algorithms with it. It was a huge learning experience, and in the end, like I feel like that pedal is amazing. I don't say that a lot about the stuff that I make. I don't like to pat myself on the back.
It is.
How many times do I say that? And I feel like I said it the last time that we talked.
It's just a front.
Yeah, it's a front. I love myself.
Yeah, you do.
Really.
I know. You should love yourself more and your stuff, because it's great. And
God,
especially the Avalanche Run. I use that on like 90% of my demos.
Thank you.
Because it's just, such a pleasing ambience. And it's good from, subtle stuff, but also the more extreme soundscape stuff.
And I do like when I play with a delay, I do like a lot of more like short rhythmic delays, and I always love incorporating reverb into it. And like, I'm always pleased every time I turn that pedal on. I use it a lot.
That's a good choice.
Of ours, that's what I would say. Avalanche Run.
Cool. And speaking of the Avalanche Run, that platform, we've only seen 2 pedals from your hands based on that platform. Yeah. Avalanche Run and Pyramids. Can we expect more?
Oh,
like
definitely.
High-powered DSP
There will
stuff?
definitely be more stuff coming out in that realm. It just takes a lot of time. Yeah. There's a lot of time to get it right, and I'm picky. And, the way that that stuff is developed is because it's over my head. So I work with a third-party engineer. We sit together, and it's like I got the ideas. I know what it is. Sometimes they're hard to convey, so it takes a lot longer than the stuff that I actually get hands-on with, like all the analog circuits and stuff. So by the time those things come out, I have invested years into doing that stuff, and I actually really like working that way. It's like sound design. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can always hear that in your effects that you're not an engineer, you're a musician.
Yeah,
They just
it
sound
was like
right.
turned into an engineer,
Yeah.
kind of, in my own weird way.
But they just sound right, man.
Thank you.
It's good. I'm super excited to hear that we'll have some more high-powered DSP. I am super excited about the new Afterneath. I actually think
Thank
it's
you.
my favorite thing at NAMM right
Thank you.
now.
I appreciate it.
Will I get one?
Oh, of course.
Yes!
Of course. I can't wait to hear what you do with it.
You just made my NAMM. Thanks, man.
Thank you.